First off, we took a piece of pipe. You can see we've drilled 2 holes in it, one large, one small, and we've cut a small notch out of the back side of the thing. We're just going to do that again.
Alright, you kind of got to find the seam of the pipe because it'll split on you if you're not careful. So we're going to flatten that section out, oblong it in this direction. The seam of the pipe is on the top. That's just a piece of gas pipe. The last one we built was a little bit smaller diameter. This will probably, we hope, work just as well. You want to go down to about the diameter of the wire, maybe just a little larger, and you also want to have so that it's got a little bit of a tunnel. Okay, now you see how we've done it this way. We've got smaller holes drilled in it, or smaller holes, a little bit of a tunnel here and there. We're now going to bore our 2 bigger and smaller holes through in this position right there. Now we're going to put a smaller hole through first as a guide hole, so we're not here drilling all day. Now we're going to drill a 3/4 inch hole to the back side, and the size really doesn't matter as long as it's larger than the mandrel hole, so that you can feed things in and out and get that last little click off of the spindle. Make it one little section that it won't spin. On the back side, we'll allow a larger hole for feed out and a smaller hole for a guide for the mandrel. Now with our hole cut, we're going to put our channel in the side with the larger hole. Approximately a 1/2 inch to 3/8 of a slot to allow the wire to feed through. Clean the hole up just a little bit so we've got the structural integrity of the pipe. And you need to make sure you use thick wall pipe. Using the thick wall pipe, you can see now our hole, the large hole with the slot. You can see the small hole in the back. Now the wire is going to feed right through that smaller channel. We're about to test it and see if the wire is the right size. If the slot is the right size for the wire. If it's not, then we're going to bore it. And now to test it and make sure we've got the right diameter. Plugging it down through there, it appears to be the right diameter. Now you can see as we put it down in there, it's going to come right next to the smaller hole for the mandrel. We're now going to build a mandrel that'll work for it. It'll work for it. Using a piece of scrap 3/8 steel, we're just going to cut it and make a shaft with another small bore hole in it to pick up the barbed wire to start the spin. This happens to be a spoke from a wheel line. We just picked it up out at the dump. Easy, cheap, and free. We're now going to drill a hole about 2 inches from the end so that we can have a spot to start the wire. When we run our electric drill, it'll just simply wind the wire away from that point, the full length of that mandrel, or until the wire runs out. Usually we don't make too long of see how far it is from the end. We're now going to take our wire, test it to make sure that it fits, That's about how far you'll want to put the wire in each time that you run the mandrel. We're now going to bore a couple of sizes larger than a 3/8 hole that allows our mandrel to be able to fit through it. We've already put the larger hole through the back side. We're now going to ream this other hole out just slightly larger to fit our mandrel with a little bit of play. It's an easy fit, a little bit loose, so it should be able to move freely. Notice that the wire has been pushed through the hole in the mandrel. It rests up against the upper side of the tool. We're now going to go ahead and roll it by simply running the drill in forward. If you use the different side, make it a different direction, you'd have to run it in reverse. Now for the first one for that tool, that's not a bad job. We could actually clean that up a little bit. Most of those rings, however, will be good. It appears to me as though our tool needs to be flexed. Once you get the spring off of it, we just rotate it until we can see the spot that it's wound up on. Pulls right off. When we're done, you take the cut piece off, and you're done with a little better job cutting this one. It still had an overlap on the first one. You can actually play with it, either down or up, whatever it takes, left or right, to get a better spindle when you run those through.